Hi, how's it going? Hi everyone, it's Kenya aka Taemon Rebel, and I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I do K-drama reviews and read books in my spare time. So today I'm going to be talking about a book that took me a while to finish. It took me about 3 to 4 months to read. So I finished reading this lovely book called The Ghost Bride by Yang Ji-Chu. Once again, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Now that I'm done with this book, I read it from October till yesterday, which was January 16th. I decided to also watch the short series on Netflix based off of the book, also called The Ghost Bride. It is a Chinese drama and it's only 6 episodes long, and it aired in 2020, I believe. So I was like, what the heck? I got all Sunday. There's no work tomorrow. I can just watch this all night. And I did. Now, I struggled reading the book, right? But for some reason, I enjoyed the show a lot more. Like, everything the book was missing for me is what the show brought for me. So the show took out some elements of the book that I really did enjoy, but put in elements that I missed. And the book obviously had the elements I enjoyed, but just didn't have that oomph to it. But let me explain. So let me just first explain the plot of the book to you, and I'm just going to read it off the back because, I mean, why not? It's there for a reason, right? So, Malaya, 1893, Lilon, the daughter of a genteel but bankrupt Chinese family, has few prospects, but fate intervenes when she receives a proposal from the wealthy and powerful Lim family. They want her to become a ghost bride for the family's only son, who died under mysterious circumstances. Rarely practiced, ghost marriages are often meant to placate a restless spirit. Such a union would guarantee Lilon a comfortable home for the rest of her days, but at what cost? As she reluctantly considers the offer, Lilon is unwillingly drawn into the shadowy parallel world of the Chinese afterlife, with its ghost cities and vengeful spirits. There, Lilon must uncover the Lim's family's darkest secrets and the truth about her own family before she is trapped in this ghostly world forever. And even with that synopsis, the drama is so much different than the synopsis of the book. But the book really mainly focuses on introducing you to Chinese, Malaysian culture. Chu really wants to build this world and build this culture to introduce to her reader. And as much as I enjoyed that, as much as I enjoyed her descriptions, and as much as I enjoyed her world building isn't my favorite type of storytelling. So I got super bored very fast, but I was still intrigued on what would happen, so I kept going. Like, for instance, there was mystery, but not as much mystery as I was hoping for. There was world building, but there wasn't any really character development. Everyone was kind of a one-dimensional character. They didn't really have any growth. And other characters I was intrigued about only appear like 4 or 5 times out the book, which was really sad for me. So what I'm going to try to do, I had notes, but they weren't really connecting for me to really compare the drama and the book. So I'm going to do my best in just kind of going about the story and going about what I liked and disliked about both at the same time. I hope it's not too convoluted. So first, let's talk about the story and how they differ. So Lilon, in the beginning of the book, is haunted by Lim Tianqing. He infiltrates her dreams, tries to force her to marry him, become his ghost bride. And the reason he was able to accomplish that was because Lilon visited the Lim household, and Tianqing's mother took one of her shawls that was able to get her connected to Tianqing to enter her dreams. And somewhere down the line, she's really, really upset and frustrated about this, and she takes overdoses technically on a medicine that makes her spirit leave her body, and now she's stuck in the spirit world. That is how the story begins. That is not how it begins in the drama. So how the drama differs from that: instead of Lilon's father being an opium addict and having a scarred face from having, I believe it was smallpox, her household overcame this, and only her father and her survived, and her mother died, unfortunately. He was an opium addict that didn't do much of anything to save his business. Now, the drama differs that by him being an actual caring and loving father. Not that he wasn't caring and loving, but now in the drama, he's actually showing it more. So instead of Lilon being trapped in the spirit world first, her father ends up there by accident. She has to save him. Tianqing visits her in her dream, and he says he can save her father. And she's like, okay, what can I do for you to help me save my father? And he tells her he has been murdered. So she now has to figure out who murdered him just so he can be able to save her father's soul. And that's how the drama starts. There are 2 elements in the book that aren't transferred over to the drama. Lilon exploring the plains of the dead, and a character named Fawn who ends up backstabbing Lilon later on in the book. And I am sad to say that I missed those 2 elements because the Plains of the Dead was a great world development in the book, which that was the part that really actually did grab my attention as far as descriptions go. Like, Chu did a really good job of explaining the Plains of the Dead and giving me a picture to build in my head. But they didn't take advantage of that in the show, and Fawn was a character that was very annoying, but she did make a good plot device at the end of the book. From what the drama didn't use, they created their own plot devices. So instead of Lilon leaving her body first, her father leaves her body first. She doesn't leave her body till halfway through the show. She does not explore the Plains of the Dead and instead goes straight to Tianqing's mansion in the Plains of the Dead. Her body never gets possessed. Those are just little things about the plot that should have been used, that were not used. It's fine, it's whatever. Like I said, I enjoy the drama for a completely different reason, but those small things that made the book good, they just didn't use in the drama, and I'm sad about that. Moving on from the plot, because it's pretty straightforward after that, Lilon needs to get her body back. Lilon needs to make sure she doesn't have to fade into nothingness and die in the book. Same thing goes for the drama. I'm going to talk about the characters because that's mostly where everything differs. Because like I said, the book isn't a huge character driven book and there's not a lot of growth. I guess Lilon grows a bit, but in the end it's more of her adventure more than it is her growing as a person. So I'm first going to talk about Lilon. Lilon is an interesting character. She is mentioned to be a bit brazen and not like other girls in the book, not because she wants to be, but because she has to be. Her father isn't taking over the business as well as he should. Her family has to be frugal. All she has is her ama. In the book, she is turning 18, and in the drama, she is 20. So I'm happy the drama upped her age a bit. In the book, she's a bit dry. Her personality isn't really there, but she is a good character. But in the show, she's able to showcase her personality more because the interactions that I wish were in the book were all in the show. Instead of focusing solely on the adventure, we get a lot more character interactions. So the fact that we get Lilon interacting more with Tianqing in the spirit world, because Tianqing only appears like 3 times in the book. We get to see Lilon interact with Tianbai, which is her love interest, and also Tianqing's cousin. We get to see her interact with Erlong a lot more than in the book, because Erlong only comes in like 3 or 4 times and is more of a I'm here to save you moment and I need you for this moment. We get to see her interact with these 3 guys a lot more, and it's a great benefit to her character development. And second, she actually has a friend in the show outside of the book. The book is all about her and her family. I was like, where are her friends? What does she do outside of this? All she does is read and learn. What else does she like to do? Who does she interact with? Who are her friends? Does she have girlfriends, you know? But that was never explored in the book, and I was happy that we did get a friend to see her interact with a friend in the show. So yeah, just Lilon's personality I thought was just lacking a bit in the book. And now we're moving on to Erlong. Erlong is the heavenly guard that is researching and is playing detective to finding out how Tianqing is able to stay in the plane of the dead without having to be judged to go to hell or heaven or get reincarnated. He has to figure it out so he can get promoted. I think he was supposed to get promoted in the book too, but yeah, his main thing is that he's been on Earth, he's been the same level of deity or guard for 500 years, and he wants to get promoted. He is a lot more pretentious in the drama than he is in the book, but the character is still pretty much the same. He feels himself too much. In the book, he was like, you can't see me. He would wear like this big old ninja bamboo hat, I think it was described as. You can't see me because you'll regret it. You'll never be able to forget my face. And it's like, bruh, okay. And it really did happen. Lilon saw his face in the book and she never went back. It was all about Erlong after that. But in the show, they have this bickering relationship, and that big relationship we only saw like 3 or 4 times in the book. We got to see every episode in the drama, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And on to Tianqing. Tianqing, once again, only appears every now and then in the book. And when he does appear, he's only there for like really a soft 2 or 3 pages, right? So Tianqing's character actually gets a lot more screen time in the drama, And instead of just becoming the side character like in the book and focusing more on Lilon's journey, he is actually now the sole person on why Lilon has to do what she has to do now. She would not be investigating the Lee mansion if he didn't ask her to go investigate his murder. And when she ends up leaving her spirit ends up leaving her body halfway through the show, the only way to save her father's soul is if she gives up herself to go become his ghost bride. And then we have Tianbai. Tianbai is Tianqing's cousin and Lilon's other love interest. So outside of Erlong, and he's actually engaged to someone in the drama. It's the same character that he likes in the book, but she's now actually like a main character in the show. It's interesting that Tianbai and Lilon actually now have like a past. So it was nice to know that they knew each other and not fall in love at first sight type of thing. As they grow, she slowly starts leaning more towards Erlong and not Tianbai, because Tianbai is engaged, but Tianbai still shows that he has feelings for Lilon. And it sucks, and he helps her as much as he can. He understands what she's going through. She tells him everything and he tries to help her as much as possible, but unfortunately it is what it is. Like, you're engaged, my dude. His fiance ends up being a big part of the show, and that's a part that they use that I didn't really care for. The jealous fiance, you know, like, why are you so close with your childhood friend? Duh, they're childhood friends. But if you already know your fiance likes her and you're still choosing to marry him, that sounds like a you problem, and you need to go talk about it and fix it on your own. Another plot development that was nice was what I wish happened in the book was Lilon and her mother's story. I wish what happened in the drama happened in the book. There was a lot more happy endings in the show than there are in the book. The book ends almost pretty much the same way that the drama ends. There's a lot of characters wrapping up that was well deserved, that was a bit more tragic in the book. It's okay, you know, it's fine. It was fine. Oh, another thing. Lilon took control of her own ending in the show. I didn't really care for the ending in the book because it seemed like she was making the decision based on the fact that one of her interests was giving her a decision. If he never came back or even said that he wanted to do that with her in the first place, she would have eventually just lived her life the way it was, right? But in the drama, instead, she is making this decision and she's thinking about how it's not really the life she wants to live. Ends up talking to her father, because he's a more caring father in the show, and he tells her, what your decision is your decision. I just want you to be happy. And she ends up making her own decision instead of it being an option someone gave her. And I really enjoyed that ending in the show more. But once again, the book's world building is great. It's amazing. And I love learning about Chinese Malaysian culture in that time period. And I loved all of the cultural aspects and the traditions that Chu was introducing to me that made me want to go look things up. But as far as the characters go, a lot of them were very dry. As much as I wanted to like Lilon and Erlong and Tianbai, nothing moved me about them, and it was very unfortunate. So when things were wrapping up, things were being confronted, I was just like, okay, well, I'm happy for them, I guess, but did they grow from this? Did she learn anything? Or are these things just happening to happen, you know? So I was very conflicted about that, but the show really made me care about the characters more, and Lilon was very fierce. She was very intriguing. She was very curious, sometimes way too brazen, but you know, that's what made her fun. Erlong was definitely there to help bring out that fierceness in her, because he was just as fierce yet pretentious, and he was very fun to be around. But he also had a mission, and he was serious when he needed to be. Tianbai was definitely there as the second lead, per se, and as much as he cared about Lilon, he wasn't what she needed. But I'm really happy that they were able to have more interactions and understand that things happen for a reason. Tianqing was described as being a very selfish, chubby, not attractive young man, but he was very attractive in the show. But obviously what made him not attractive was his horrible spoiled personality and arrogantness, and really did make him look ugly as a character. So that really was kept true. Tianqing was he was just a mess. The afterlife being an example of the bureaucracy of the real world was a big thing in the book, which is why I suggest reading the book for more details, because the show really simplifies things with less characters and a more streamlined plot, which is why I enjoyed it after reading the book, because my mind was like, hey, I got too much going on up here. Dumb it down for me. But give me more character development, give me more character interactions, but dumb down the plot a bit for me. But still give me her world building. But they didn't do that. As my convoluted thought process of this book and this show, it was really great world building, but really bland character development, for my opinion. The show, great character development, really bland world building. Not much going on there. They kept it as simple as possible. Once again, I'm sad that they took out some elements that I really enjoy, but I'm really happy they put in some things that I wanted explored more in the book. Like Lilon seeing her mom again and how sentimental it was, and Erlon coming in the first episode instead of halfway through, to show how Lilon's character can actually be a lot more fun and fierce and not just like a doormat. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts. If you like The Ghost Bride, please comment down below. If you like the Ghost Bride drama, also comment down below. If you liked both of them, comment down below. And we can talk about it, because I really did have notes for this, but and now it's just like all this is just coming and spurting out of my mouth, and I feel bad because if it's not easy to follow, you can easily just be like, hey, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to start editing this and it's just going to be a mess. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for future videos. I will be back next time, and I hope all of you have a good day. Bye.